Might
Are you a Redditor? Yeah, I'm a Redditor. Are you? Yeah. Did you see that thing on Reddit? Yeah, I did.
It's also similar to saying, "Are you a Facebooker?"
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's so synonymous with just internet culture at this moment.
Or if you use
just like-
Twitter, are you a twat?
I don't have that. I just edit my own videos.
You're gonna have to explain that joke.
Yeah.
Redditor, editor.
For fuck's sake.
Obvious in hindsight.
Our editor. Here's our editor.
Oh, Jesus.
There's our editor. It's
We all
our
scream for
editor.
Redditor.
It's not.
Yep. With you now.
Yeah. Okay. It's saying the West Country one. Yeah, the West Country
Alright.
editors. Is our editor? He is.
Alright, he's our editor.
I don't need our editor. I do my own editing. There we go. That might have been better if I did it. If I did it in the
Yeah.
accent, it might have been a bit of a better joke.
I mean, to be honest, you needed the setup as well. You just gave us the punchline and it made no sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was joke review there.
But then, look, it's one of our jokes. Of course, it needs to set up the punchline and everything in between.
Well, yeah, because otherwise it's not a joke. It's just words.
And
It
the
needs to set up
explanation.
it needs
Yeah.
to set up the punchline, the 5 minutes of explanation, the meta
yeah.
commentary,
Slow clap afterwards.
the
The
ding.
awkward silence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely needs the ding. It's not a joke without the ding.
Of course not. Course not. Like the really hard brown bits you get sometimes.
Ooh, the snot pores. Deep down in there, the painful ones, that where you push the side of your nose, you can feel it.
Ooh, yeah.
Ugh.
Blimey. Really satisfying to get out though.
Oh, yeah.
Bogey review.
It's a good old, like, a hard breathe out and just flies out into the tissue. Oh, that's wonderful.
We've sunk lower when it comes to bodily fluids review before, Christian, so I don't think bogey review's that bad.
It's just the snot cycle #1.
Oh no.
That's like a really weird piece of music.
It's
Another fucking cycle.
The snot cycle. Number
it's
one.
just gonna have to sort of evolve into a giant sort of like multiverse of cycles, just
Well,
like
there's-
the fluid cycle.
There is the cycle.
Oh,
It's just like
okay,
the sort of cycle.
Okay, so it gets added onto the cycles of cycles.
I made a note of like how we arrange everything. Where did I put it? Tit facts. There we are. So the mythos is the whole thing. Then in the mythos there's sagas, and then in the sagas there's cycles.
Oh dear. No, that
It's
works.
like it's your equivalent of a dating system. Saga
Yeah.
4, cycle 15.
I thought you meant like Match.com or something.
it took me a second to
Yeah.
realize what.
I was thinking you'll be fucking lucky.
In the 5th age of the 4th era.
Yeah. The whole rotten saga.
What's that? That sounds familiar.
Blackadder.
Horrible.
Oh,
Black
thank
Panther.
you.
I was thinking horrible histories for a moment. That's kind of like a sort of like child of Blackadder in a way, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of Blackadder elements to it, just in a lot more of a sketch show.
Yeah.
And historical fact.
Well, yeah, obviously
Yeah,
it is
like-
factually accurate.
Are you telling me that King George the Fourth wasn't actually the butler? Was it fourth? Yeah, George the Third was the mad one, wasn't he?
Are you telling me that all these famous people in history weren't just the same 5 people over and over again?
It's like the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
They just keep getting reincarnated.
Yeah.
I thought that was the point. It is just like the next generation, or like
Yeah, it's all the same families and bloodlines.
grandchild. Yeah.
Because like Blackadder's meant to get cleverer with each generation, but a lower social status.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense. If they
read
all
that
die at the end
somewhere.
of each series, how the hell do they carry on?
They must have had secret affairs
I
with people
think-
like Bob.
I think
Even Baldric?
yeah, I
Baldric's
don't know
got
about
family.
the rest.
Especially Baldric.
I don't know about the rest of them, but I know Blackadder normally survives until it got to series 4, and then they all died. Because
Wasn't he killed in
Did you
series
watch
2?
any of the other series? The only one he survived in was 3.
was it?
Yeah, because literally at the end of the
you're
first
right.
one, the whole of the family all died because of the
Okay,
the Flashheart dude.
series 1's the one we tend to forget about easily.
Series 2 was the copycat guy who came in and murdered
Yeah.
everyone.
Okay.
Series
yeah.
3 was the one where he survived, I believe, and then
That
Series
was-
4 is
that
the
one
one
I
where they
can
went over the
remember.
top.
Okay, no, fair enough.
Yeah, literally the
In
whole running
fact-
gag of Blackadder is that they always die at the end of the show.
In series 3, only George dies.
You're right, yes, because it was a revolution of porn,
Unless you
wasn't it?
count the Scarlet Pimpernel guy, who obviously was he was Lord Percy in series 2, but then he was only had a cameo in series
yeah.
3, but he still died.
Good old Lord Percy.
So fucking good, it's Blackadder. Anyway,
It doesn't age, does it?
no, it's always the
It's
same
still
characters
just
again
as
and
funny
again.
now as it was back then.
Yeah, I think
I dare
that's
say even funnier.
yeah. I suppose that's the advantage of doing something that's set in an historical period and making it just about sort of the same characters every time. You're not basing it on. It's not like a I don't know observational comedy or something, is it? From now
Yeah.
would probably not age well.
No.
Yeah.
But it also helps that it's actually genuinely funny.
Yes, of course.
Like, oh my god, I love it.
Even series 1 that people like to hate is still
Yeah,
very
it
good.
had some good points. It had some
Yeah.
good parts.
It
It's not as
just
good as the
weakest
others.
of Before, yeah.
Yeah,
No, of course not as good as the other.
it was. I
But
think
still,
it was when Ben Elton was at the height of his powers. I think he took over from series 2 onwards. I think.
yeah, it
And that's-
shows.
Or was it Richard Curtis?
One of the two.
Yeah,
I loved
they
a
were
lot
both
of the
involved by the
specials
end.
as well.
Specials. I only know of one
Like-
special, which is back and forth.
Back and forth, there was they did a Christmas Carol one.
It was Ben
Oh,
Elton.
Blackadder Christmas Carol. No, I do remember that one. Were there any others? Was it just those?
Uh, there was a couple. I think.
Specials. Pilot episode, The Cavalier Years for
Cavalier
Comic
Years,
Relief.
okay.
Don't know that one.
Don't think I've ever seen that one. No.
No.
Christmas Carol, Back and Forth, and
That's it, I think.
Did they do
Oh,
one
no,
recently?
3 more rows.
oh yeah, there was one on Comic Relief this year. I did see that one.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I didn't know it was that recent.
It was Stephen
COVID.
Fry as Lord Melchett, head of the royal household, under lockdown at Melchett Manor, helping Prince William deal with educating his children via Zoom.
That feels vaguely familiar. I like the concept though. That's good.
I'll have to,
I might have to
find a
watch
video of the Cavalier Years. I don't think I've seen that one.
I don't remember that at all.
I think it's because I've got the box set somewhere, so they were all on there as extras.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had the box set at some point though as well.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe it's just because it was as an extra, you just missed it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'd actually, of the specials, I think Cavalier Years might be the shortest of them.
Potentially, yeah.
So it might be easier to miss, and it's like it is more of a special than an actual special episode.
Yeah,
It's a bit part, yeah.
Yeah,
It
it's
was-
more of like a children in need special than a whole
Yeah,
episode special.
it was-
Yeah.
Done for Comic Relief night in 1988. So I think we'd be forgiven
Okay.
for missing it. It's the same way, like when you
Yeah.
see people watching through Doctor Who on the YouTube and they miss like the time crash and things like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, fair. I'm just gonna.
All right, let me just have a look, see if I've got any other biscuits whilst we're in the biscuit section. No, I have no biscuits. Although I have bought some more biscuits today when I went to the shops.
Oh.
Ha 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 ha. So, should we do Flim of the Yar?
Yes, let's. So we're on 2002 this year. We haven't heard back from Alex, so unfortunately he won't get a vote this year.
Oh. Let me have a look.
Which is a bit of a shame, but
Shit of a bame.
sure.
Ooh, oh, it's changed since I last looked at it.
Don't shit on Bane. He won't like it.
Brilliant.
already born in the dark.
30.
was born in it, raised by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man.
Why was that all the shit that was on his face? I told you, stop shitting on Bane. Anyway,
So,
Stop pissing on Shane.
last year we had Monster Inc.,
Oh,
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone,
Philosopher's
Potter.
Stone.
A Knight's Tale, and The Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring.
Full stop.
Yeah, full stop. So when I was looking at this throughout the week,
the Ring of the Begin.
yeah, I was looking at this throughout the week. There was one way out in front every time I looked at it, but
And then
it's just been
something's overtaken
It's just
it.
been overtaken at the last moment.
Shock horror.
What?
So
I know it won't be mine.
in
I know the
Fourth.
only one I chose. I can't remember who chose the others.
in fourth place with 3% was Richard's choice, A Knight's Tale.
Oh.
Well,
It's a good film, damn it.
But mate,
not
it's
according to
like,
critics.
Or
Although they know.
like, if the critics have even seen it, that's because it's a film I haven't really seen, or if I have seen, I can't remember seeing.
I remember seeing it on Channel 4 once. And
So it's
just
it's
absolutely adoring it.
the handful of people who have seen Monster Inc., Harry Potter, or Lord of the Rings compared to
Yeah.
who would have
True,
seen a
yeah.
It's a lot more of an obscure movie.
Because it's even like, we're asking people to pick a winner at the end of the day, so it could be that like a lot of people really like A Knight's Tale, but they just think, oh, I prefer that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Does that make you feel better?
No.
When I asked you if it made you feel better, did that make it better or worse?
I don't know, to be honest. It feels a little bit condescending, but you know, I'll live with it.
Oh, you noticed that, did you? Oh, well done.
I've got a bit of
Oh
understanding on my
wow,
window.
sarcasm. That's original. Good job on that. It takes a real sharp mind to respond with sarcasm. I'm just so proud.
I got no response to that. I know. I remember someone overhearing like a conversation someone was having at school once back in the day, and someone just looked at someone else and went, "You know, sarcasm's the lowest form of wit." And the person who said it to you just looked back at them and went, "Yeah, but it's funny."
Which is fair.
Yes.
You know, if you're gonna do something, you might as well just laugh.
Exactly.
Do it for fun. Otherwise,
Exactly.
what's the point?
Exactly.
He who dies with most toys is still fucking dead. So might as well just have fun and carry on with it.
Exactly. Ozzy, would you like to say exactly as well?
Exactly.
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 In third place, with 24%, was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, Philosopher's
okay.
Stone. Nice.
Harry Philosopher and the Potter's Stone.
Potter Philosopher and Harry Potter Stone. And Harry.
Yeah, Harry Philos
Harry
and
and
the
the Potter's
Philopotter's Stone.
Flary and the Potter's Stone.
Flary Officer's Potter's Stone.
This stone of pottering.
I still don't understand why they changed it to Sorcerer's Stone in America.
Because they thought that people would think philosophers sounded too stuffy and boring, and sorcerer was more exciting.
Oh, I not assumed.
I
I
thought you
read.
that.
Well, I thought it was where they thought Americans just wouldn't know what a philosopher was.
What was?
What a philosopher was. So they wouldn't get what a philosopher's stone was.
You're right. I have no idea what that is either.
Did you hear what you're saying? Yeah. Philosopher.
Yeah,
Philistine.
We have
That's why
established me and the English language have never been good. I don't know why this is new.
Just, I'm sure you didn't say that before. Anyway.
That's why I say philosophers. Combine a philosopher and sorcerer. Philosophers. Or whatever. Anyway, yeah, so what was the winner?
Anyway, so in second place with 35% was my choice, Monster Inc.
Nice.
So the winner, which was actually my first choice, so I'm happy with this, with Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, 38%.
Nice. But
So-
you don't get the point for that. Alex gets the point for that.
Yeah, it was a much closer one than previous ones. I think we're going to get this a lot now, especially this year, where there's like every major franchise at the time had a major film out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there we are. So, 2002.
2002.
Yeah. I mean, three major film franchises each had part 2 out this year. So
Yes, they did.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of overlap again, like there was in the last one. Would anyone like to go first?
I mean, I've got quite a large list this time, so
I've got a large-ish list. Not quite large, but...
I don't know how we define large.
I don't know, 12 tabs?
Yeah, I don't have that many.
I got 6 honourable
Holy crap,
mentions.
it was
and
actually
5
12!
Oh.
I've got 10. Tab.
Shall I go first then?
Go on then. Do me a worst.
Right, so, honourable mentions in no particular order.
Oh.
We got Jackass the Movie,
Oh.
which was... I only watched this, like, last year or the year before, something like that. Oh my god, it's so funny. It's the sort of film that I wouldn't have found funny when I was younger.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, oh my god.
Yeah, I never understood the appeal of Jackass when I was younger, but I've never really ever seen it.
It wasn't necessarily the appeal. I remember always preferring the It's kind of like Jackass, but it was a bunch of Welsh guys.
The Welsh ones, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
What's it called?
I remember watching them more, but I learned of them through Balls of Steel because they were in a couple of episodes of that.
Mind you, I did watch that.
Pardon?
I did watch Balls of Steel actually a few times.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Sanchez.
That's it.
Sanchez. Yeah.
See, that I never enjoyed.
You see, I preferred them over. I found, I don't know if it was just me being too British at the time, but I just found Jackass too American.
That's always my impression of them
the
too.
The thing is, like, I wasn't a big fan of it, and then I watched Action Point, which is a film we'll get to later on in 2018, I think it is.
Oh.
But it's Johnny Knoxville acting. And that kind of softened me up to him, because he did all his own stunts. And oh my god, that film was hilarious. So I was like, okay, let's give Jackass a try. It's more of the same. And I found it really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jackass, Ice Age, the original.
Yeah.
The original Resident Evil.
Oh.
Okay.
Technically terrible, but I enjoyed it. Lilo and Stitch. Men in Black 2. Which is obviously one of those big franchises that you mentioned.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Austin Powers 3.
A lot of
Gold
these
member.
are in honourable mention territory, but
last honourable mention is Star Trek Nemesis.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Which, again, technically terrible. However,
still watchable. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable if you're a Star Trek fan and you just like the characters.
It gave Tom Hardy a drug habit. Like literally, he started. He gained a drug habit from working on film.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he's fine now, but yeah, it's quite interesting
That we
having
know
Tom
of.
Hardy as a really weird person. But yeah, yes. So yeah, my number 5 is the original Spider-Man.
Hyphen Man.
Yeah, by Sam Raimi.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's good
I
fun.
enjoyed it.
We went to watch it for your birthday, didn't we?
I don't remember.
I remember being given an invitation. It was in the old school. It was around the science blocks, and you were giving out invitations with spiders on them. Little spider draw, not like it was like.
Might have been 2000. Might have been Spider-Man 2 then.
It might have been, maybe.
Because we didn't start school until 2003.
Oh yeah. Well, again, numbers.
Because I remember I didn't see Spider-Man in the cinema. I saw it with my friend over at his house one day.
Okay, it might have been 2 or 3.
Spiders. Yeah, it would have been 2 because I never saw 3 in the cinema. So it obviously was number 2 then.
Go then.
There you go.
I might be misremembering this, but is this the film that they invented 12A for?
I don't know.
I seem to remember it first being, maybe it was around but no one cared about it until this film, but I remember that loads of kids wanted to see it, but it was going to be a 12 or something like that, and so they had to make it 12A. Here we
History
are.
of British film certificates.
There's a Guardian article.
Okay.
Cinemas are preparing for stampedes this weekend after the 12 rating for films was scrapped, allowing children into blockbusters from which they had previously been banned because of one swear word or violent martial arts. The British Board of Film Classification will today step in line with most of Europe and the US by replacing the 12 certificate with a blah 12A blah 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 blah. Criticism reached crisis point in June when the box office hit Spider-Man was rated 12 due to a graphic fight scene between the superhero and his arch-nemesis, the Green Goblin. Children's demand to see the film, which was heavily marketed through toys and breakfast cereals, led to altercations between parents and cinema staff. Why would there be altercations? Like, it says it's 12. Your kid's 10.
I can tell you why there would be altercations between Karen adults and cinema workers trying to just do their fucking job.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like...
Oh, yeah. It's like, my son wants to go and watch the new Spider-Man film. He's 12 tomorrow. It's his birthday. Yeah, but he's not fucking 12 now, is he?
Yeah.
I don't care if he's 12 tomorrow. I don't care if if it's a midnight showing and he's 12 in 20 minutes time. If he isn't 12 now, he can't fucking go in. That's not a personal thing. That is the fucking law.
Yeah. Anyway.
The amount of people that do not understand that I had literal arguments with, people shouting at my face of going like, oh, but he's 15 tomorrow. It's like, yeah, that's tomorrow. What is his age right now? 14. That's fucking right. It's sausage party. Go the fuck away.
Oh, so what's sausage party?
This is a subject that I am quite passionate about. Also, wasn't Spider-Man, it was Bourne Identity. But anyway.
All right. I really dislike the term Karen. I don't like it.
You know what I mean, though,
yeah.
right?
I think it's quite sexist. You prick.
All right, then, a fucking boomer. Or a gammon.
Yeah, that's better.
That better?
Yeah. Because now we're discriminating based on beliefs rather than gender, and that's absolutely fine as far as I'm concerned. Oh, and age.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. That's fair. I retract my Karen statement.
It's like,
arguing with some gammon.
You stupid old bint. Hey, you can't say that. Use a gender neutral insult. you stupid old boy pussy.
Person. That's why I just say you person. Because you can't even say cow because that's gendered.
True. You bull. That's bull. It's a load of bull. There we are. We figured it out. Cracked the code.
Yeah,
anyway,
but men do speak a lot of bullshit. Anyway,
that was
number five.
The fucking Invisible Towers woke brigade there.
So yeah, number 5 is Spider-Man. Number 4, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Ooh.
That low because of Aragog.
Fine.
Yep. I remember literally screaming in the cinema. It's the bit where one of them bursts through the side of the car and grabs Ron's head. Yeah, that's a big old fat no. That's a big old pile of nope from me.
How did you get on with Shelob? Well, I guess we'll find out in a couple of years.
What do you mean next week?
Yep. we exist in a time bubble. Oh, Ice Cream Man Giuseppe's painted his ice cream van red. That's exciting, isn't it? Anyway, please continue.
Okay. No, the thing is, like, when I watched Chamber of Secrets for the first time, it was 2002. I was a tiny little kiddie wink. I was 10 years old.
Yeah. Embryonic.
Yeah. So wasn't exactly the cold hard 10-year vet I am now. But yeah, Aragog was a big old note. Shelob, I learned to cope with by sort of like only watching little bits, like watching through like closed fingers and things like that. Now I can actually appreciate Shelob for what it is, because I think it's because Shelob is more CGI, whereas Aragog was done practically.
Oh, okay.
So you can tell the sort of difference. Sort of thing, yeah.
And then there's the spiders in Hobbit Part 2, Desolation of Smaug. There's the whole spider forest bit.
Sorry, I just had a chill go down my spine then. Talking about those films. Anyway, yeah.
Sorry, there's a sequence in the Hobbit book where
Oh,
is
yeah.
in the Hobbit adaptation film, singular,
chapter in
where that happened again. Again, I watched that through not exactly closed fingers, but sort of like squinted eyes, and by the middle of the sequence, I was like, oh, okay, this is fine.
Oh, yeah.
However, first time playing through Skyrim, had to get my mum to defeat the first set of spiders in the cave because I couldn't fucking do it, and I now have a spiders to bears mod.
Yeah.
So literally every single spider in Skyrim is now replaced with a T-posed bear.
I thought it was going to be like Paddington or Pooh.
No.
Or something.
It's literally just like a standard bear model, but like standing straight out T-posed.
Uppercase T or
Hilarious.
lowercase T?
Uppercase.
Okay.
Yeah. I am now Water T. Yeah, weirdly enough,
Water
Lego
T.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, sorry. Took me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, Lego Harry Potter doing the Aragog level, that wasn't fun. Because they had the rattling of them the whole time, and horrible. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, Chamber of
Spiders
Secrets.
are fucking gross.
Yeah, fucking disgusting.
I agree with you on that. Don't like them.
No, it's a whole level for Aragog, and I hate it. And I just no. It's quite weird because there's a bit where you're running away, running away from them, and you've got the famous blue car and a fucking motorbike.
A motorbike?
Yeah, because you've got to have two players at all times in the Lego games.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really weird. Anyway,
If there is only one player, the computer take control of the other.
oh yeah, but there's still like two physical characters on the screen at all times.
Yeah, but the good thing about Lego games is when you die, you don't really. There's no real game over. You just lose.
Yeah, it's almost like Lego games are impossible to lose.
They should have, instead of having a motorbike, they should just have you be the passenger, and every now and then a quick time event will pop up, like press X to scream.
If they made it now, they probably would.
Yeah. That's a bit Stanley Parable, isn't it?
Because like in
press E to die.
press F.
Yeah. Yes.
Because like going back to Shelob, in Lego Dimensions, there's a Gollum expansion pack where you can play as Gollum, and his rideable vehicle is Shelob.
Like a Minecraft skeleton.
Yeah, literally. And I was like, well, that's one expansion pack I'm never going to fucking get. Yeah, so Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Number 3 is Attack of the Clones, Episode 2, Star Wars. Yeah. What are our thoughts on Episode 2, Attack of the Clones? Worst of the prequels? Worst of the prequel.
Yeah, I think most people agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's good, but it's still the worst.
Yeah, I mean, like most things, it's got like most of the prequels, it's got the like amazing battle scenes and things like that. Like you know, the big fight when the clones arrive and all the Jedi arrive in Geonosis is when I think it's like that bit. From there, it's amazing. Like I can't really remember.
They never actually
it's the bit with the really creepy scenes between Anakin and Padme, isn't it? I remember now.
Yeah, a lot of people think that he's subconsciously mind tricking her.
That's a really cool headcanon. I like that.
Yeah, because otherwise it just doesn't make much sense. But yeah. But then again, it's
So it happens with shit directors, I guess, isn't it? Sorry, George. Love your stories. You're not a director.
See, this is where it's kind of weird. Like, because he wrote and directed Episode 4, which is my favourite.
Did he direct it?
I don't know. I think. Hang on.
Or maybe better.
Yeah, he directed it as well. Wrote and directed Episode 4.
Now, however, it was very heavily edited.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
And his script went through about 12 revisions. It's really interesting going on like Wikipedia and reading all the like initial script and seeing the revisions like change by change sort of thing. Yeah. Anyway.
See, I'm wondering if it was because with Episode 4, it was his first like big vision for this thing, so he had to make it good. He had to put a lot of effort into it. Whereas with Episode 2, it's just like, oh, okay, right. Let's just do this. Let's just do that.
But the difference was, I think...
yes.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, fuck's sake. Because like he wasn't surrounded by yes men the whole time with just agreeing to his every idea, but he was a lot more heavily involved, and he had a lot of ideas that he wanted to do. So I think he was just going crazy, just like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And because we had the technology at the time, they just decided to just go for it. They tried to throw everything at the wall and still see what stuck, rather than working with the limitations of the time and the era and the studio of it might not work. So he had to hold it back a little bit. With this, he knew it was going to be a massive hit because it's more Star Wars, it's more of the prequel, it's more of the story. So of course everyone was going to go and see it. So he could do more risk and he could do more things.
Yes.
I'm in a very talkative mood today. I do apologize for taking over.
It is an audio podcast involving speech, so that is fine.
It does kind of help.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though, right?
You're not being talkative, you're just being passionate, Rich.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Episode 4 is completely different to the other Star Wars films, though, in terms of what it is, because it's effectively just like it's this exciting set piece, then this exciting set piece, and this exciting set piece, referencing this film, referencing that film, referencing the other film. Whereas the prequels are not that. If I've explained that very well, that I know what you mean. They're his own story rather than, he's trying to tell us
had to go off as well. Is that you've got to remember what is going to happen. In the originals, you've got to write the prequels remembering what it's got to lead into. Whereas
and like you said, episode 4
onwards,
episode 4 is a standalone. Regardless of what he says, it's a standalone film. Regardless of what plans he may or may not have had, it's a standalone film, like you said. And so that's kind of links into what I was saying about it's just let's do this exciting thing, that exciting thing, this exciting thing. Crowds will love it. Episode 2 is a combination of both of those things. It's surrounded by yes men. Its script doesn't get as heavily edited as it did the first time, so you don't have to convince everyone to make it. It doesn't get heavily edited afterwards by your then ex-wife. I don't know when they divorced. And also, it's trying to tell a specific story rather than just throw a load of cool set pieces together. And that was the problem. There we are.
I've always wondered what episode 4, 5, and 6 would have been like if they got rewritten now with knowledge of the prequels.
Well,
keeping like the same threads, but like
that's kind of a paradox, though. Oh
no, but I mean, like what would be different? Like, obviously, it'd be more references to the Clone Wars and things like that. But I just always wonder, like, what would you change nowadays, like story-wise, in episode 4, 5, and 6, to make them tie in with the prequels more?
You'd probably see Vader's face a bit more because they'd need an excuse to show the makeup of Hayden Christensen underneath the helmet.
Yeah, and Vader obviously would have a much larger part in episode 4. I feel.
Yeah, there'd be a lot more humor as well, probably.
Yeah. I feel like the fight between Anakin and between Obi-Wan and Vader on the Death Star would be immense.
Have you two seen the remake?
Yeah.
Are you talking about scene 38, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
so, and then just remake that scene.
Have you seen the oral notes version of it? They're the guys that made the
No.
What did they make? They did like loads of Star Wars, like abridged, basically. Where the I love their Star Wars things. Honestly, it's so good. So all the bad guys in the films are just like legitimate businessmen trying to run a business, and the Jedi are just like drug addicts who like to get smashed on heroin or what they call midichlorians, and when you have dance parties.
When you look at the prequels in terms of the Jedi are the assholes, it actually becomes a really good set of films.
Yeah.
Also, bear with one second. I should go grab something from the other room because it is related. Hang on.
You've been listening to Palpatine's propaganda. All right, let me find their version of scene. There it is.
Right, back. What's that? Oh, yeah.
They basically just added like a load of fucking lens flares and repeats. It's a brilliant piss take of that reimagining, honestly.
Oh my god, they Abrams it.
Yes. I was saying just as you were leaving, if you were talking about the Jedi or the assholes, I think you've been listening to Palpatine's propaganda. The Jedi started this war.
They're very stuck in their ways and just.
It's really I love the kind of the behind the scenes stuff that you don't really see in the films of like the political side of the story, where it's like, because a lot of people sometimes ask the question, why didn't everyone think, oh, hang on, he's just killed all the Jedi, aren't the Jedi good guys? And the reason is there's, trillions upon trillions of people in the galaxy. Most of them have probably never seen a Jedi, so they're not going to know that they do all this, that, and the other stuff. And then Palpatine's propaganda throughout the whole Clone Wars was the Jedi started this war by buying an army, which is theoretically
the Jedi struck first, really.
Yeah, exactly. And they were trying to find a diplomatic solution, and the Jedi attacked them and started this war. And yeah, I find that side very interesting.
So what I went to go and get was William Shakespeare's Star Wars, which is literally the entirety of Episode 4 rewritten as a Shakespeare play.
That's amazing.
So, for example, Obi-Wan, and yet thou canst not win, I'll warrant Darth. For if thou strike me down, e'en now, e'en here, I shall more great and powerful become than ere thou hast imagined possible.
So it is funny, but first thing I'll say is Shakespeare didn't speak like that.
But it's done in that sort of style, you know? It's even got a chorus and everything. Is honestly ridiculous. Because it's got like, it's so ridiculous. I fucking love it. Because they did one for Empire Strikes Back as well, and Return of the Jedi.
You can imagine Vader doing soliloquies.
Like, trying to think of another bit to read out. It would
just be kind of like a Vogon doing poetry.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this? Luke, I see this droid is bound to thee. Obi-Wan, I have no such memory of owning such a droid as this. 'Tis curious indeed. Endorsed to escape a second cuddling here. The sand people do easily take flight, but soon they shall return with many more. R2D2, beep, meep, beep, beep, meep, squeak. It's so ridiculous. I absolutely love it.
I'd love to see,
so that was my number 2.
I'd love to see actually like a film made that was just like a retelling, the same way that Star Wars was a retelling of The Hidden Fortress. I'd love to see just a film made in a different setting, like medieval England or whatever, that just followed the same plot points as Star Wars, just as a
might try to do that for a D&D campaign.
Next homage.
It's just Harry Potter, isn't it?
Is it?
Harry Potter is Star Wars.
I can't.
Think about it. An abandoned young kid gets given a magic stick by an old wise man and told to defeat the ultimate evil that killed his parents.
I mean, there's a bit more to it than that.
Is there though?
That's where I was going with the joke, but yeah, it was a joke.
I mean, when you reductionist it down,
yeah.
I swear there has been retellings of Star Wars. I just can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's called Force Awakens.
What is it they say?
I haven't gone anywhere near them.
It's the Force Awakens is good. It's
like the sequel trilogy gets a lot of flack, but I love Force Awakens. Like Force Awakens is probably my second favorite of the entire franchise.
Okay,
just because of the way it made me feel inside. Like,
yeah. Definitely.
Watching episode 7 gave me thrills that I hadn't felt watching a film since episode 3 in the cinema, to be perfectly honest.
It was just like Star Wars is back sort of feeling for me.
But it's back and we know how to do it right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got sets and it's the bit that made me realise
what you were saying until you saw the film after it.
Yeah.
But
it's like the bit that made me love it, that made me realise that, oh my God, they know what they're doing, was the bit where Poe and Finn are in the TIE fighter flying away and Finn shoots down one of the TIE fighters and just goes, whoa! And it's like, oh my God, he did an emotion.
Was that... Oh, I thought a lot of people criticised that bit. I thought you were being sarcastic.
I love that because that is what you would do. You don't just be all straight-laced and stoic-faced shooting down things. No. You blow something up you're trying to escape from. You fucking cheer.
Great kid, don't get penisy.
Exactly. It's the feeling of loving having fun in the universe you're in. I think that was one of my main problem with the prequels. That it was just so straight-laced and serious. You know, it's just like. But when you think about it, like, it's not supposed to. Like, you can't take Star Wars seriously.
A lot of
it's
people do.
With laser swords and giant spinning frogs up on ketamine, stabbing each other with laser swords. It just doesn't lend itself to seriousness. You know, like, just have a bit of fun.
Yes, as I was saying, so Star Wars, when you was talking about the it's a story of this, that, and the other. There's that classic line of it's the story of a farmer whose family is killed in a government strike, who then goes on to join a terrorist organization based on an ancient religion, and needs a terrorist attack that kills thousands of people.
I mean, when you put it like that,
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing factually wrong about that.
No.
Because the rebels are technically a terrorist organization. Holy shit.
Anyway,
that was my number 3. Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
My number 2, Two Towers.
Oh,
Lord of the Rings.
Desmond Tutu Towers.
I have a lot less to say about Lord of the Rings.
Towers.
Because I was a Star Wars kid rather than Lord of the Rings kid, but I can still appreciate it for how good it is. Like, Two Towers is probably my favorite of the trilogy. There's so much happens and it's so good. You got 3 separate storylines going on in that film. Really impressive. Yeah, because you got Frodo and Sam. You got the Aragorn and his lads.
You said Frodo and Sam. I thought you said Fireman Sam.
That would be a very different film.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Frodo and Sam. You've got Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, and then you got Merry and Pippin.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so good, so good. But, my number 1 of 2002 is Treasure Planet.
Oh.
Yeah. I adore this. This is from the era of Disney I was talking about a couple of weeks back, where they put so much effort into the visuals. The wonderful blend of 2D and 2D animation with 3D like backgrounds and CGI. Oh my god, it is so beautiful.
You see, I've seen it. I remember liking it. I just haven't seen it enough to remember it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It's just like the cast, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, David Hyde Pierce, Martin Shaw, Emma Thompson, Patrick McGowan. Like, oh my god, it's so good because it is literally just Treasure Island in space.
Yeah.
But this is like what you were saying about the like retelling Star Wars in a different way. This is retelling Treasure Island, but in space.
Yeah.
And it works so well. Oh, I absolutely adore it. It's so good. Anyway. Yeah, my number 1, Treasure Planet. Someone else talk for 20 minutes now.
Okay. I'll go next.
Ah.
I've not got a lot to say.
I'm sorry. See, this is my problem. I feel like I talk too much.
Well, no, as we said, we kind of need people to talk. Anyway, so honourable mentions: Ice Age, Spider-Man, Scooby-Doo, Austin Powers and Goldmember, Catch Me If You Can, and Signs, which is full of stupid shit, but it's still a good, like, suspenseful film.
They're allergic to water.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. But I can't deny that I watched the film and enjoyed it because it makes you feel tense and suspenseful and shit.
Yeah.
So, top 5. Number 5, Reign of Fire, which is
saw something about that recently.
post-apocalyptic and it's full of dragons, so it's like 2 of my favourite things.
Set in 2012.
Oh wow. Okay. There we are.
No, sorry. It's set in 2020.
Oh well. There we are. So we've got that to look forward to. Does it say what month?
I don't know. It's set in England in the year 2020. Doesn't say what.
Oh,
month.
it's set in 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, so the dragons came
So
up
that's
earlier.
another form of apocalypse taking place in 2020.
No, it looks like the dragons. Mankind used nuclear weapons against the dragons in 2010. The film is set in 2020. It's set.
Yeah, so I meant the film is set in 2020.
Yeah. So we haven't got that to look forward to because it hasn't already happened. So we know we're not in that timeline.
Wanna bet?
Yes. I will take the bet that dragons are not about to come and destroy us.
I mean, given how this year's gone so far,
It wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world.
it really wouldn't.
Anyway. Number 4, Spirited Away.
Yeah, excellent film.
There's the Studio Gimli film.
Oh. Say
then-
that hurt my soul.
And then the top 3 is the big 3 of number 2s. So number 3, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter and the Magic Chamber Pot of Azerbaijan.
Is that the Dawn of French and Saunders? one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Secret Chamber Pot, sorry, not the Magic Chamber Pot. Number 2, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Yep.
And then number 1, Took the Lord of Took the Rings, Took the Two Towers.
It's time to towers.
I mean, I won't go on and on and on, but I fucking love this series. Film and book and associated like world atlases and mythological
That is one
legendaria.
thing I really do respect about Lord of the Rings. The amount of lore behind it is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, the effort that has been put into it is phenomenal.
Even to the extent that, because obviously Tolkien was a linguist, he's set out the history of like the migrations of various groups of people and species as well to determine where the language groups are in the world. And so like where the Rohirrim came from a bit to the east of the Misty Mountains, and there also used to be some halflings that lived there too, who then crossed the Misty Mountains and moved to the Shire. And so when the Hobbit, whichever Hobbit it is, goes to Rohan, he understands some of the words as sounding like archaic versions of his own language because that's they come from the same root, same ancestral root.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the appendix of the books, Tolkien, the author, talks about how he translated it from the Red Book of Westmarch into English out of Westron. And so because he translated Westron into English, he translated the Rohan language, whatever it's called, into Old English, words that sounded like Old English to get the same effect as what the hobbits would have felt when they heard it. Oh, it's amazing.
That is just a level of dedication that is... You just don't get in some things these days.
Yeah. Because the protagonist of The Lord of the Rings is called Maura Lapingi.
What?
But his name's translated into Frodo Baggins for the one that Tolkien translated. That's the kind of in-universe explanation, because they don't speak English, they all speak Westron. And so Lapingi has the root of the word is the same as the root for bag, so that's why he went for Baggins. That's the kind of in-universe. It's amazing.
That is... I didn't know that. That is actually amazing.
I could very easily start a religion based on these books. Like it's, I love them so much.
I think it already has been. To be fair,
it's fucking great.
That is genuinely interesting.
Yeah, because I said I read them when I was a kid and didn't really get into them that much. I read them again last year, and when I got to the appendices and he started talking about the translations, I was just sort of sat there with my mouth hanging open for about 10 minutes.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Do 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 do.
Phenomenal.
Do 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 do.
Phenomenal.
Do 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 do.
Phenomenal.
Anyway.
Ozzy!
Is it my turn?
Yes.
What would you like to talk
I know what
about
yours is
for
going
10
to be.
minutes?
Oh. You think you know what mine is going to be? How stupid are you?
Hello, have we met? Somewhere
I know
on the
my
sliding
own
scale
grandson's
between
name.
very and a lot.
Okay.
A lot stupid.
I
yes.
had a few more honourable mentions, but I've knocked off a load because they were honourably mentioned by you guys. The honourable mentions I still have are the Powerpuff Girls movie,
Uh-huh.
the Tuxedo,
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon Forever,
Uh-huh.
and Spy Kids 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Is it actually called Electric Boogaloo?
No. Island of Lost Dreams.
Yeah. I don't remember Spy Kids 2.
I don't as much of the first.
I remember the first one quite well.
That's it, yeah. The
I
first
remember-
and the third, I oddly remember more than the second.
No, same.
Yeah.
I can hardly. I don't think I've ever. No, I must have seen it. It's got the little girl with pigtails on it or something like that. But I remember.
Yeah, it first introduces them.
Yeah, I have seen it, but 1 and 3 are
I
just the
remember
ones
having
that.
like miniature creatures.
I only know 3 because the critic did a review of it. It had Elijah Wood in it for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
The guy. Number 5. Ali G in the House.
Yeah.
Number
No,
4.
that's one I wish I'd seen. I haven't seen it.
okay.
I don't
You
get
haven't
Ali
seen
G.
it. It's
really
humor
don't
of
get
its
it.
time.
It's to me.
It wouldn't work nowadays. Well, it doesn't work
God,
nowadays.
no.
But
I was
yeah.
kind of grouped in the same areas like Bo Selector.
you
I
see,
know
that's one
some of
I
that.
didn't find as
I
enjoyable.
never understood the hilarity, the appeal of Bo Selector.
No.
It's just like,
No, I never really saw that one much. I mean, and it was I didn't see too much of Ali G's show until after I'd watched the movie. It was mainly the movie that made me like him.
So talking about Bo Selector, what's his name, Lee Francis. I've heard him on the radio and stuff doing interviews, and I think he's really funny. I really like him. I don't like the stuff he does as Keith Lemon. I don't find that very
God,
good.
is he Keith Lemon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's and then he did Bo Selector as well, and obviously he was on that game show that he's on. But I find him quite annoying. But the guy himself, I find
Lemon
him
game
quite,
show.
pretty funny. Yeah. Anyway,
So that was 5. Number 4, Spider-Man.
Spiderman.
Spiderman.
Cinnamon Uno.
Number 3, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Ah.
Number 2, Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
Oh.
And my number 1 is Scooby-Doo.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I love this film. It is bad, but
Like
it
Zoid
is
Scoob.
bad good. Yeah.
So bad it's good.
yeah.
It's definitely better than the sequel.
I don't know. The sequel's really good as well. Anything after number 2, but
Apparently,
Number
Scoob
2 was a
Scoob was
lot
actually
more-
quite good.
I haven't seen Scoob, to be honest.
Like the latest
yeah,
animated series
yeah.
is apparently really funny.
But no,
It's
it's like they got the cast perfectly for the movie.
Yeah. Matthew Lillard and Freddie Prinze Jr. Oh my
Freddie
god.
Prinze Jr.,
Good old
Sarah
Kanan
Michelle
Jarrus.
Gellar.
Oh god, yeah, it was, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
She was Daphne.
Rowan Atkinson was in it.
God, yeah.
Yeah. Playing Scrappy Doo.
Yeah.
Scrappy Doo was playing Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
A decision that still baffles me to this day.
But yeah, there we go.
Cool.
I love the franchise, but the film is probably my favorite of anything Scooby-Doo.
Fair.
Yeah, I remember
If you say Scooby-Doo to me, these are the characters I picture.
we went to see it in Haha, I think, back in the day. Only Henry's
Oh
kids
my
will
god,
get
you're
that.
right. Oh my god, that's a throwback, isn't it?
Yeah,
Holy heck.
yeah.
Oh my god, memories of just that. It's like you just unlocked a section of my brain that I didn't realize was closed off. Son of a beast thing.
I think the way Scooby-Doo put Scrappy-Doo into the plot was really, really good. I think
I've never found it annoying, to be honest.
No.
I
But
always
like,
found Scrappy-Doo annoying.
because there's like obviously this whole thing about Scrappy-Doo's the worst and he ruined it all, blah blah blah. To like have the scene at the start where he actually is really annoying and they just dump him was just really funny. And then for him to be the villain as well was, I think, that's a good kind of nod to the.
I think
the,
it's
the kind of
just the
zeitgeist
whole
kind of thing.
film's
Is that the
just
word?
sort of got that tongue-in-cheek.
Tongue-in-cheek.
nod.
Yeah.
Where they're not taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
They know what they're adapting and they're having as much fun with it as they can.
Yeah.
while
It
It
still
can literally
trying
be
to
summed
keep
up with
it
the phrase,
as
we know.
yeah. But it's still like it might not be 100% faithful, but they still tried to keep it as faithful to the classics whilst being a parody.
Yeah. Because they still acknowledge the fact that they do go around like old warehouses unmasking caretakers and stuff. And like, it's great.
Old man Smithers, the creepy janitor. Oh, yeah.
It's good. Didn't quite make my top 5. I do really like it.
The random celebrity cameos and
I think I would have liked it a little bit more if instead of being Scrappy-Doo as the villain, it was actually like Old Man Withers again or something like that.
Just some
Like, just like loop back around, like fully like commit to it.
Or if like it's a fucking like caretaker that they've spoken to once in one scene.
Yeah.
And he's doing it for some other reason about insurance or like his severance payment or something.
yeah.
Just like fully just like bring it fully around.
It was just the cleaner who moved in the background of one shot after a party scene.
Yeah.
And he just tuts at all the mess, and that's the only clue you get to him being bad.
Yeah, like that would have been so ridiculous and sort of in keeping with the rest of the film of just being like, what the fuck is going on? But no, it's a very good film. Very good film.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've got Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Scooby-Doo, and Treasure Planet. I'm gonna make it a magical 5-way extravaganza and throw in Star Wars and Harry Potter as well, because I feel
fair.
like they're big films. They're
Right,
big films.
you want to see how they do. I was gonna say, because Harry Potter wasn't even my number 2.
And giving me even more of a chance to lose.
I've got to be honest. I feel like because there were some massive films that came out that year, if it's just Two Towers, Scooby-Doo, and Treasure Planet, we need to split.
Be Two Towers.
We need to split the vote a little bit.
In which case, can I have honorary Star Wars mention and Ozzy has honorary Harry Potter mention?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
Because that way, the three of us have got our 3 pillars.
Exactly. The 3-point tower of invisibleness.
The Triforce of fandom.
Yeah, it's our
it does have
Triforce
3
fandoms,
sides.
isn't it?
That is in the lore.
Yeah.
Because there's no fourth wall.
Of course, it's never a fourth.
Yeah.
And then Doctor Who's just kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
With Digimon slightly placed off to the side, more towards mine and Christian's towers.
No, Digimon is the giant flaming eye at the top.
Well, it's like a massive Venn diagram. Doctor Who's in the middle. You and Christian have got Digimon. Me and Christian have got Star Wars, and me and Ozzy have got something. What's the
Power
thing?
Rangers.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, Power Rangers. There we go.
Or Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's like our that's our Venn diagram. And Doctor Who's in the middle.
Well,
any other biscuits?
no, there was nothing else from me.
Hey, can I think of nothing?
No, not that I can see. Nope.
Wow.
Well then, bye.
Yeah. I
Tops
mean, it
and leaves.
would have been cut at some point. I don't know when. If you've got a week off, Rich, you should self-isolate for 14 days.